welcome to Common Thread. Welcome to our monthly meditation. Today is a guided self-examination exploring our often unconscious but nonetheless impactful thoughts, words around the theme of our current Sunday lesson, making space for the other. As we go along, I will list some areas of our lives to consider. Are we or are we not making space for others? Now, as always, when we do a self-examination meditation, you'll want to pause the recording now, get something to write with. It's kind of a journaling practice, so go ahead and do that. And once you've gathered up something to write with, let's spend a few moments reflecting on our thoughts and our words, beginning as we do by quieting our minds and our bodies. Taking a slow breath in, relaxing our bodies as we exhale. Another breath, and exhale. Check in with your facial muscles. If there's any tension, soften your face. Let your shoulders drop. Belly go soft. Slow breath in, relaxing more deeply as we exhale. Take a few breaths. Usually unconsciously, because we would reject the thought if it was conscious. Usually unconsciously, there is a place inside of us where we look down on someone else. Now again, we would reject that thought if it was conscious, because good people don't look down on other people. But if we stand outside of our thoughts and look at them for a moment, I bet you can find someone you look down on. I asked myself this question, then I asked my wife as I was preparing this meditation, and it is insidious, this looking down on instinct. Our brains kind of automatically and unconsciously categorize others as more or less, inferior or superior. So who do you categorize your brain unconsciously as less than you? Maybe someone with less money or less style or less coolness or less education, less intelligence, social standing. Someone who has the wrong beliefs, the wrong approach, runs with the wrong crowd, thinks the wrong mob mentality, whatever it is. When you are not looking, who does your unconscious mind look down on? Take a moment, see if someone comes up. And if they do, jot them down. Maybe pause the recording for more time. And where you're writing, next to whoever you wrote down that you might look down on, maybe also write down someone that you trust that you could talk to about it. Now, we already judge ourselves for looking down on other people, so surely someone else that we would talk to would judge us for it. But I bet if you look, there's also someone that you could trust and could talk to about how your unconscious mind works, about the looking down on instinct. Because as we've seen so many times, the value of this self-examination is to bring that to conversations that we shape with our trusted spiritual friends. We've all got a stated belief that people are equal, that everyone carries the inner light, but our brains do run on another track. They do serve up to us unbidden these feelings of superiority and inferiority. So let's take a look. What's in there? Explore looking down on. Who comes to mind? And who will you talk to about it? A related area of inquiry is our words. Put down words are the drumbeat of our society right now. So odds are those words have come out of your mouth because it's just such a constant barrage around us every day. I'm not immune to the drumbeat. It's so easy to say words and to think thoughts that put others down. So look at that. Have put down words come out of your mouth? And please do take more time. Just pause the recording. Another area to consider making space for the other is the often unconscious instinct to control someone else's thinking. A lot of what drives the division that we are all experiencing is this innate desire to get people on board and to get people all together. It's a good thing. But usually when we want to get people on board and get them together, it's with whatever thoughts and beliefs that we think, whatever beliefs we believe, and take that a little further, and we find ourselves unconsciously trying to spin someone else's thoughts and beliefs, to control them. Now, I'm a card-carrying member of the Control Other People Club. This has been a lifelong point of growth for me. So I know how powerful those unconscious instincts are to control others' thinking. I also know, and this was a hard-won insight, how much of our desire to control usually comes from our own fear. Often the fear that life will get out of control if we don't control other people's thoughts and beliefs. So take a moment and explore that. Is there anything in there, the impulse, that's the rising internal energy to push past other people's thoughts and choices and spin them and change them and push or pull people in a direction in your direction? Check and see if that's in there. Can you remember a time pushing past somebody's thinking boundaries? For a good cause, of course. To get them to believe the better belief, or to think the better thought, to make them better, to make life better. But boundary pushing. Anything in there? Take a moment. Again, pausing the recording if you need more time. The thing is that change happens best when people want to change. So if we want to create change, the best thing we can do is to create the environment in which people want to change. And it turns out that environment is not when we look down on, when we control, or when we push past boundaries, as instinctive as those things are. And because most of us are left-leaning after the great sort of 2016, here's the thing: the left has practiced scorn toward the right for a long time. Shamed the right, ridiculed the right, called them deplorable. But the right did get quiet for a while, but didn't go away. All it took was the right galvanizing moment, and all of that hurt and all of that disrespect and all of that shutting down and all of that shutting out, it erupted in some devastating ways. So for our self-examination, we could either do more of that or begin to examine ourselves. Can we make place for the other? Has my interior script been co-opted by this national script so that I do look down on, do unconsciously try to control, do push past boundaries? So take a moment, look at those three areas: looking down on, trying to control other people's thinking, pushing past boundaries. Again, pausing if you need more time. Indwelling divine, may we live in patterns that make place for others. Amen. We'll look over your notes. The reason we do self-examination is to help us to live our lives with more attention to what matters. And it really helps when we talk with someone. Is there someone you could trust to talk about your thoughts with? And if you're brave, maybe go on the chat group on our app. I hope you will. Have a growing week.